But the geese are in fine form this afternoon on Windermere. There's blue sky and the winter snow and the fells has gone. With spring in the air, work's underway here at the headquarters of Windermere Lake Cruises, one of the top 10 paid-for visitor attractions in England and the most popular paid-for attraction in Cumbria. We're going behind the scenes as the crew here get the fleet ready for the main season. Welcome to Northern Lights.
Alex, this is Nigel, Alex. Take it and then pop back.
Alec Williamson knows more than most about the 16-strong fleet that makes up Windermere Lake Cruises. As boat builder and maintenance manager, he's been part of the business for over 40 years. And we meet on a busy day, run up to the start of the main season.
We've craned our 4 traditional wooden launches in. We've got 2 big cranes in, and a lot of planning for months and months, getting it all geared up. The more planning you can do, the easier it is. And we've all got our fingers, so it must have worked all right. Yeah.
And the weather must help, mustn't it? I
love it.
Wet days, wind as well.
Makes you feel like spring is in the air. Mind you, a bit of rain keeps everyone motivated. Don't hang around talking too much.
And how long have you worked here then?
Lifetime. 42 years full time, which is 42 years.
What, man and boy?
Yeah. And even before that, I was a boy crewing the boats.
You're joking? What was the appeal? Why did you join?
My elder brother used to work here, and so I used to come down at weekends and help on the rowing boats and self-drive crewing, because you could do then, and a lot of local kids did do. So yeah, and then I just got stuck here.
And how has it changed? Has it changed much? You've still got the same traditional vessels,
no,
haven't you?
Yeah, we've still got the same vessels. We're just getting older, like myself, and technology's coming on so much. Everything's all, electronic wise, and if you're doing any big jobs you've got to plan ahead, because we're quite in the sticks up here. South, everything's on the south coast or proper marine places, whereas here, so you've got to order stuff well in advance.
Well, what about the jobs that you have to do on the boat? I mean, do they take much maintenance? I guess the older ones do, don't they?
They all do. Even the new one is maintenance, because they get so much use. So many people come on. So as say a basic door lock might have been used 1,000 times in a couple of days, so you just wear out. And it's just keeping things going. Everything's got to be right.
What about the engineering side? Kind of getting the right parts for the turn, for example. The oldest in the vessel. You
can't just go and buy a bit. It's got to look right as well. And I always say to the lads, if something looks right, it generally is right. But also a lot of stuff you can buy off the shelf now is a bit sort of cheap and nasty. So it's got to last, it's got to be heavy duty.
And are there people like you kind of joining up as well, sort of for a career here?
I wish there was. I wish I could say, yeah, we've got a good... But like we've had a couple of staff this winter, and they work on the boats in the summer, and then they come and help me in the winter, and if they've got an interest, that's half the battle. If they've got keenness and interest, I will nurture them, so to speak, and bring them on.
Well, what do you think of Windermere? You've been here all your life, haven't you?
Yeah, it's nice. It just gets so busy now. I live in Kendal, 10 miles away, and it's nice because I can remove myself from here.
Yeah, switch off.
But it is nice when I come in early in a morning at 8 o'clock. It's stunning. You sometimes see otters in the morning. You see all the wildlife. Yeah, it's great. Don't like it when it's raining though, which it does a lot.
Tops the lake up a bit, doesn't it? Yeah. So which are these then?
Sunflower, Queen, Princess and the Muriel.
So these been for winter, what's kind of stripped down, ready for
we strip them all out ready for the winter. They've all first thing we do is we wash them all off, get rid of all the crap varnish paint, because we do get quite a bit of hammer. But they're looking really good this year, and considering the weather we've had, they're looking good.
How old is it then?
Older than me. Older than me.
For its age, I mean, it's looking well, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I always think if you don't maintain them, if you don't keep on top of wooden boats, they just deteriorate. Yeah. So if we keep on top of them, they'll look after themselves. So.
And are you constantly renewing stuff, bits of kit that need replacing, wood that needs replacing?
Yeah, there's various cappings around the sides where they've damaged on the piers, they've been replaced. Some of the floor bearers. The actual hull is absolutely fine, because one of the last things I do is spray them with wood preserver. Absolutely lashings of it all on. And but that's getting difficult to find a decent oil-based wood preserver.
So the boats will soon be ready, but how confident is the business in being able to fill them? Visitor numbers here reached a peak in 2019 when 1.63 million people came aboard. Figures last year showed 1.2 million visitors, which still sounds a lot, but for a company that employs 200 people, every visit counts. Jennifer Cormack is Sales and Marketing Director and tells us how the tourism market has changed and why there's a constant need to remind tour operators about the lakes and Windermere.
I came up here for a summer job and never left. I was working in holiday parks to start with. When I first came up here, it was a lot of camping and caravanning. I then saw within my sort of 10 years in that role, it changed to static caravans, to luxury lodges, and some of those lodges for £500,000. We've had the speed limit come into place since I've been here, so it has changed hugely. And then in other ways, the Lake District hasn't changed. It's still attracts the people that used to come as small children with the grandparents. It still has that very quintessentially English feel and the authenticity of the area. So there's some ways that it sort of moved on and other ways that it just remained that history and that heritage. There are no 2 days when I look out that window where it's the same view. I think my favourite time is autumn time when it's all sort of going golden brown and the leaves change, and it's very quickly. It can happen within a matter of 1 to 2 weeks, but that is my favourite time of year, definitely. But sometimes you look out that window and it's stormy and it's moody. Sometimes you look out the window and you can't see past the homes halfway there up the lake because the mists come in. But it's, I never tire of that view. And what an inspiration to look out of when you're selling such a fantastic area.
I'm not sure I'd get any work done if I worked here, because that view is just captivating. But when you go, and you do as part of your job, you go all around the UK, Europe, further afield as well, kind of promoting Windermere. Is it an easy sell? Are people kind of very receptive, or is it getting harder because their expectations have changed? I'm sure you've seen in your time in tourism, things like green credentials and sustainability become very much to the fore, and perhaps they weren't when you first started.
Yeah, I think when I first started, sustainability and regenerative tourism weren't even known, and people didn't talk about them. That's definitely become more of what people want. They want to know what our green credentials are. They want to know how we are being sustainable as a business, and as a sort of a person myself. We want to be sustainable. We want to protect this area. For me, for my children, I moved up here 25 years ago and I've made a life here, and I live here, but I also work here, but I love the area that I live in. In a way it is an easy sell, because you mentioned the Lake District and people say, oh, it's amazing, it's a beautiful place, but then you go to some places in the world that have never heard of the Lake District. For instance, the first time I went out to China, when I mentioned the Lake District, they thought I meant Italy, because of the Lake District there, so we had to then talk about the English Lake District and show pictures, and especially for people in cities like Beijing and Shanghai that live in tower blocks, show them pictures of what they have here, and it's definitely a must-do. We've definitely been a destination for the international market that has taken a while to develop, because obviously everyone initially, when they're coming from overseas, want to go and see London or Edinburgh. I think the advantage for us is we're in between London and Edinburgh, so when coach trips come in, we are a stop-off point, but we are now becoming definitely a destination on its own. What I do think has changed, and what makes it quite a difficult sell sometimes, is we are very authentic, very historical, the heritage that we've got. A lot of the younger travellers are now wanting more experiential travel. They're wanting different activities. So it's how we had to change our products to do that. So we've got our electric self-drive boats. They're really popular now. We see younger families, we see a lot of international people taking the self-drives out, because maybe they don't want to sit and look at the sights for half an hour on one of the larger vessels. So it's just different ways that we can sort of capture that market, and we do work collaboratively with other businesses. We work with Zip World up at Brockhall. We call in there. We have joint tickets with those. So anyone that's looking for a bit of adventure or thrill seeking, they can arrive sustainably. So sustainable transport up to Brockhall National Park Visitor Centre, and then do the activity and then come back by boat. Beatrix Potter and Peter Rabbit is hugely synonymous with the Japanese market. I don't think that will ever fade. That's been a long-standing interest in this area. More latterly, I think the word at the minute is set jetting, which is what Visit Britain are using, which is people are coming to look for places that have had films filmed in the area.
I've not heard of that.
Yeah,
Set
I
jetting.
thought it was jet setting, but it's not. It's set jetting. That's the new buzzword.
Yeah.
And a lot of tourists are sort of going around different places because of what they're seeing on TV. Bridgerton at the minute is hugely popular overseas, so people are wanting to go and visit those sites. So it's great for us every time we have something filmed here. The recent Peter Rabbit film, the animation was fantastic. We're just hoping that there'll be more in the area. It's great when Tom Cruise comes to the area and films. Those are the things, again, it's just different ways of attracting people to the area. People in London do laugh at us, say, you lot all, you all work together. But we do, and it really works. We went out to Washington post-pandemic, and we weren't seeing much interest from the US market at all, and 11 businesses went out to a Visit Britain event out there, and we were by far the biggest destination, even bigger than London. So we made a huge impact, and we saw a huge return on that, because it wasn't just me selling a boat trip or Beatrix Potter. It was the whole area, the hotels, the transport providers, and because we could do a whole Lake District package, we highlighted the main areas and what people know, the boat trips, but we also then explained about off the beaten track and that, attract and dispersed. Did people know that Cumbria had a coastline? Not many people did. So it's just working together, and then also taking people just a bit further afield and giving them those new experiences as well.
I'm sure you couldn't have foreseen what's happened with trade tariffs and things like that, but also, as we're talking now, there's war in the Middle East, which I'm sure, I don't know, has it affected interest in the lakes? Is it too early to say yet?
We've had, in fact, our first cancellation just a couple of days ago, so I did a bit of drilling down on that. It was a group booking, and it was a Filipino group. So the reason they'd cancelled is because they were flying in via the Middle East. Now, China's our biggest inbound market by far. At the moment, we've got direct flights from Beijing and Shanghai directly into Manchester, a huge amount of other flights direct into London and Edinburgh, so they're not having to go via any of these, any of the Middle East hubs, so it's not affected that at all. We do probably think we'll see a few more Southeast Asian, maybe Australian cancellations because they were using Dubai or Doha as a hub. But on the flip side of that, UK domestic visitors may not think of going abroad this Easter. They might not take that trip, they might be a little wary. So we may get a staycation effect. We may get a few more people staying in the area. And even more so because we've had this really nice start to spring, a really nice, the daffodils are out, the lambs are in the field. Hopefully what we'll see is people thinking, they can holiday in the UK, or they can have day trips over Easter and enjoy it. So we'll see. Who knows where it'll go.
Back on the lake, and the preparations continue. 2026 is a big year for Ethan Close, one of the company's newest boatmasters, as he tells us while stood on the jetty looking down the length of the lake.
So I joined 2018, a couple of days after I turned 18. I had a mate who was working here, and he said, pop along, see what you like, and I'm in Sea Cadets. I'm a Sea Cadet instructor,
Right.
So I've always been fond of water, and I thought, let's just try it.
Yeah.
It's something that you're not going to have any harm if you don't try it or you do try it, and I stayed ever since.
What was your first job then? What were you doing first?
So I was based in Ambleside. I was doing self-drives, and then a few months after that I got put onto the crew, so boats, worked at Brockhall, selling people tickets, basically, all that kind of stuff. And then 2019 I got asked if I wanted to go on the big steamers, which I said absolutely. So I started there February 2019, and I've basically stayed on them ever since, until last year. Last year was my last year, because then I got my trainee boatmaster's job.
And are the steamers are the ones to go for? They're kind of sort of the blue ribbon of the fleet, do you think?
A lot of people have their own views on it, but for me, the steamers are the best place to be. You work as more of a team, because there's 6 of you on a boat. You get more passengers because the Swan holds 520 passengers. So on a busy weekend, and especially like August, summer holiday, bank holiday, you can get to them figures quite quickly. And I guess every day isn't the same because you get different passengers, you get different weather, and you never know what's going to happen. You could have 1 second, you might have an emergency, or you got you're training someone new. It's just there's such a very difference in every day today, which is great.
And can you remember any things that you've had to react, whether it's a medical emergency?
We had an engine fault on the turn last year, which we couldn't get the generator started back up again, and then all of a sudden it came back to life. But then you got to plan about passengers and making sure they're not worrying and make sure they're calm and collective, and if you don't show you're panicking, then they're not going to show you panicking.
It must be an art though, because Jennifer was saying before about the number of passengers you get. Is it over 1 million? From 20% come from not the UK?
No, that's it.
So language. Yeah. You must have to become a bit of a master of the kind of the shrug and the kind of don't panic kind of mannerisms, things like that.
You try your best to. Yeah. You learn some.
How's your Mandarin?
Not the best, but you try and learn some stuff. So like when I was doing the job on the steamers, I was the ticket collector. So you used to go around punching the tickets, and you go up to them and say, "Tickets, please," and they'll go, "I don't know what you're on about." Yeah. And if you say "piao," then that's boat ticket in Chinese, or "try piao," which is Japanese as well. So they go, "Oh, I know what you mean now." So learning some basics is good, but most of the time when you've got a big group of, let's say, Chinese or Japanese, they've got a tour guide with them who can speak English, so that's helpful until you can't find them, and then it's no matter who you get, you still treat them as anybody else, and you just take a second and go, look, this is what you need to do, just calm down, and they will follow your instructions eventually, but they do, which is good.
And is that part of the appeal then for the job? You're stepping up to be a boatmaster, you're in charge of everything, aren't you? You're responsible.
Well, that's it. Instead of being the crew and you don't have that much responsibility, all of a sudden you are responsible for passengers, and I quite like that. I don't mind the responsibility. You can have fun with it. On a summer's day, you're going to get the views and you're going to get the passengers who are having a great time, and that's what you're looking for, really. And then there will be the days where you'll have such a busy day and there's passengers not listening, but you've still got to try and control that.
What's the temptation to say? Shark?
We call it Bowness. The amount of passengers you do get asked that ask what kind of sharks are in the lake, and
what do you say?
You take a breath first, and then you think of something. There's no sharks in here. Right. Or what time does the tide go out? That's another great comment we get. So you kind of want to laugh sometimes, but you can't because you're being professional. You do kindly, gently say, "Look, I'm sorry, but there's no tide because it's a lake." But most people get that.
Yeah, sure. So when you're a boatmaster, how much freedom have you got? Obviously, you've got a schedule and you've got a route to take, but can you deviate? And if there's a I don't know, flock of mallards somewhere, can you sort of point it out, slow down, and give them a chance to see it?
You've got like let's say a blue cruise, which is a 45-minute island cruise. As long as you're within the 45 minutes, you can kind of tell people like go somewhere new with it, or something. You can show people what people won't see sometimes if you've got the time. On a summer's day you might not have the time because it's that busy, but you try and give the experience that they want in the first place, and that's all you can ask for, really.
You've mentioned the busy. I'm used to Windermere, a little bit of road, of swimming in Windermere. It's a busy old lake, isn't it? And,
very busy.
You've got to have your wits about you, and you're looking behind you to make sure your passengers are okay, and your crew as well. It's a lot. It's a lot.
You've got the big boats that come in, the steamers, you've got the launches, but then you've also got the self-drives, because you've got another 2 companies here with the self-drives, and they could be everywhere. So and then you've got the sailing club, which then you've got everybody sailing out in the bay, and it could be very busy. You've got to have your eyeballs with you at all times.
Predict as well, and experience. I guess that's what helps, isn't it? You can predict what people might do because you've seen it before.
That's it. Yeah, you've always got to be one step ahead of everybody else. Safety always comes first. As long as the passengers are safe, then that's all you want, really.
Do you still get a bus out seeing the view? We're looking up towards Ambleside now. It's not a bad afternoon, is it? It's a bit hazy, but what do you think?
But you never get tired of the view. That's one thing I've always learned is you can just take a minute like we are now and just look and go, you know what, that's brilliant. It will change with the water. I mean, raining or summer, you still see the mountains and you can't fault it. I mean, I think it's brilliant. I think anybody who comes up here should always come and have a look at the views, and because you don't get many views like this anywhere else.
Well, here in Bowness, preparations very much underway for the start of the main season. Thanks very much to Windermere Lake Cruises for talking to Northern Lights, and thank you for downloading this edition of the podcast that's all about business in Cumbria. I mean, you must obviously get a buzz out of it from all this time.
I do. It's when the craned on today and I see him sailing off up that lake, I'm like, oh, yes. But, this year Easter's so early. So we've got such a lot to do before then.
Yeah, we're hoping to grow visitor numbers back to where they were pre-pandemic, continue to work collaboratively, look at ways that we can diversify our products. You know, we have to listen to the markets, they're wanting more experiential visits, so how can we enhance that? What can we do on board? We have our summer evening buffet cruises that run through the summer, which is a great evening of buffet and entertainment on the lake. We're seeing a huge amount of corporate bookings, so people coming and having business events on board. It's a very, very different sort of boardroom doing that as you're sailing around Windermere, but it's a great way to do that, and it's just how we can expand on that.